Let me give you a formal introduction. We're joined by Cheryl The Pearl from The Sequence, the first female group signed to Sugar Hill Records, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
That's amazing. And doing the research for the interview, I looked up and I seen that you were originally from South Carolina.
Yeah.
What's the
Columbia.
hip hop? Columbia, South Carolina?
Yes.
Okay. What was the hip hop scene like in Columbia, South Carolina back then?
There was no hip hop scene here. The only thing we had heard was King Tim the Third with the Fatback Band and the Sugar Hill Gang.
Okay.
And so we were liking what they were doing, so we just started writing raps to the things that we were writing. You know, we were basically doing songs before that, then writing hooks and putting things together. Right. So with Funk You Up, we had the hook for Funk You Up when the Sugar Hill Gang came to Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, so that's how that link happened. Because I was saying to myself, South Carolina and the Bronx, that's a distance,
Yeah, we had no idea what was going on in New York, the Bronx, or anywhere.
Oh, really? So were y'all a rap group or singing group? Because I hear you got Angie B on there. Angie Stone was a part of the team.
Yeah, we were doing both.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We were versatile like that. We were cheerleaders, so Angie and I wrote cheers for our high school, C.A. Johnson High, and then so writing raps were easy for us.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So y'all heard the Sugar Hill was like, I can do this. This ain't nothing.
Yeah, they were coming to our hometown, so we were determined to get backstage, and we were determined for somebody to hear us. I think a week before that, Earth, Wind, and Fire was here, and we were, talking to this guy, and he was telling us to send him a tape, send us a cassette, and we was like, no, but you got to hear us, and so he just said, I could only accept the cassette. So we said, okay, well, when the Sugar Hill Gang came, we was like, somebody got to hear us. We could beat those guys rapping, And so Harold Miles, their road manager, happened to be walking. We were at the Township Auditorium here, and he happened to be walking toward the door and saw that everybody was in but us. So he came to the door and said, why y'all still standing out here? Y'all better get in the show about the stuff. We said we were supposed to have backstage passes, and they said we don't have no passes. So, we got to get in there because we could beat those guys rapping.
That's right.
And I think that stuck in his head, and he was trying to flirt with Angie. And so he said, he looked at the people in the booth, and he said, go ahead, let them in. I got them. Wow. And he said, you could come in. And Angie said, well, I can't go without my girls. And so he said, oh, y'all, come on. And we said, are we going backstage with the Sugar Hill Gang? He said, yes. He said, I'm going to take y'all right back there. But on our way walking there, we was telling them, we sing and we rap. We could beat them boys rapping and this, that, and the other. And he said, okay, I'll introduce y'all to some people. But he took us there. And the first guy was like the Earth, Wind, and Fire people said, send us a cassette. And we was like, we not getting nobody no cassette. You got to hear us now. That's how bad we is, just bragging on ourselves. And so Sylvia Robinson was sitting in the room that we went in. And she said, I'll listen to y'all. Okay. And so we closed the door up, and it was just us in there and one other person. And she said, okay, let me hear what y'all got. So we did 4 songs first. She liked them, and she said those could be album cuts. Wow. And so, but she wasn't blown away with it. So as we were leaving out, I said, we didn't do Funk You Up.
I was going to ask you, Funk You Up one of them?
Yeah, I said, we didn't do Funk You Up. And she said, I said, can we do Funk You Up for you? She said, yeah, come on in here and do it. So we gonna funk you right on her. We gonna funk you right on her.
You know what's crazy? I don't mean to cut you off, Miss Pearl. When I hear that song, it brings me back. I was damn near in a stroller.
Yeah.
And I still remember that. I still remember that song because when DJs used to always chop that up from you right on up.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Yeah. And we didn't want to sing it because we were thinking she was going to say, "Oh, they saying fuck," excuse the language, fuck you right on up. And the kids are going to say that too, you know. And so but we dressed it up with funk because I'm a big Parliament Funkadelic fan. George Clinton, Bootsy Collins, Rick James, Larry Graham.
Right.
The list goes on of the type of music I grew up listening to. And so to me, the rap came from a good evening. Do not attempt to adjust your radio, for there is nothing wrong. For we have taken control as to bring you the special show. We will be returned to you as soon as you are grooved. Welcome to station WEFUNK. We funk, better known. You know what I'm saying? That's where I got it from because I sat at the record player until I learned it all the way through, until I could repeat everything that they were repeating on that record. That's when it started for me. So I didn't know anything about anything. None of us knew anything about what's going on in the Bronx. And I say that, well, this was really a God move because we're not from there. We don't know anybody up there. And we stepped into something that was bigger than life.
Things was already
that would be bigger than, huh?
So things were already happening at that time. So it was like 79 y'all signed with Sugar Hill, right?
Yes. Shortly after the Sugar Hill Gang released their record, then they came here. Miss Robinson, once she heard us backstage, she stopped everything and told the band to come in. Said, go get the band and bring them in here. So the drummer, Doug, Skip, and Keith LeBlanc. Skip McDonald and Doug Wimplish, which he's the best musicians to me in the world. They came in, and so we had did the hook, and she said, "Let me hear y'all rap." We started rapping, and so when the band came in, she said, "Okay, I want y'all to listen to this and see what y'all can come up with something." Right. So we started singing the hook, and then she said, "Blondie, you come. My name is Gwen, but they call me Blondie. I'm better known as the one and only. I'm 5'2", built so fine, 36, 26, 36 down." She said, "Come on, Cheryl. They call me Cheryl, and I'll tell you why, because I got such sexy bedroom eyes. When I pop them out, you look surprised. I got you, and you're hypnotized. Come on, Angie. Angie B is the what to say. Got chocolate hips in the Milky Way. Now I feel like a millionaire in space, flying on a go-kite with silver lace. Everybody calls me never wrong, because I'm a freestyle freak with the funky song." Now the band is coming in because they hearing where we going at, and they are a funk band. So they just started coming in, and we started jamming back there. It was almost like the concert was backstage.
That's all to say. Sugar Hill Gang probably turned around and was like, "Yo, what?"
So everybody was running to the room to hear what was going on because we was having so much fun. And she had this big smile on her face. And at that time, I didn't realize that this was Sylvia Robinson, who had done Pillow Talk, because I'm a great fan of hers.
Yeah.
She had on a pair of jeans, a t-shirt, a Sugar Hill jacket, and her cap. It didn't even have any makeup or anything on. So it threw me off when I found out that was who was going to help us. So after they called to say it's time for the band to get on stage, we asked her, could we go out there with them? And she said, "Yeah, let me see if y'all scared or not." So we went out there, and we was having a ball because now all our high school kids are out there, and they see us on stage with the Sugar Hill Gang. And so when we came off stage, she just watched us, and she saw the energy that we had. And she said, "I'm going to make you girls stars." And we were like, "For real? You going to help us?" She said, "I'm going to send for y'all next week." She said, go and talk to your parents, and I'm going to call you Thursday, and y'all be prepared to leave out Friday. So we got home. We were all excited. We telling our parents, we got to go. We this lady going to make us stars. Now, meanwhile, I'm at Benedict College. I got 4-year scholarship at Benedict College.
Oh, wow.
Playing. Yeah, and so my grandmother said, "But you in school, Cheryl? You can't just jump out of school." And I said, "No, Mama, this bigger than that." I said, "I gotta go. I want to go. I can always go back to school."
Right.
And she said, "Well," I said, "You got to talk to my mom. My mom was at work at the time." I said, "You got to please tell her let me go." All week long, we waiting for that answer saying that it's all right, y'all go. Gwen said. Blondie said, "I'm going." We got discovered on Blondie's birthday. October the 20th, 1979 was when we got discovered that night. And so Blondie said, "I'm 20, I'm going." And so we had to talk Angie's mother into letting her go because she was 17 and still in high school. Oh. And so my grandfather said, "Let them go. If it don't work, they can always come back home."
Look at that.
Just let them go and try. If they like it, if it works for them, then good. If it don't, here's $100. Get on the bus and come on back home. And so, after my
life was back then, where you could just do that and just trust your kids and $100 come on back home.
Yeah, because the bus, he already knew the bus ticket was for $19.99. You weren't gonna pay a lot for that bus ticket. And besides that, I had aunts and uncles that lived in East Orange, New Jersey, and Angie's aunt lived in Brooklyn. So they were in case something goes wrong, call your family.
There you go.
And they'll come get you, and they'll get you back home. And so, but that, it never happened. We got off all our family came to the airport with us to see us off. We went to Newark, New Jersey, to the airport there. Right. And the same guy that got us in picked us up. So we knew that we were all right then. But we came with everything. We weren't going back. We were coming to win. That's the attitude. They tell me, "Where y'all going with all of that stuff?" You just come to record. We ain't going back. So he took us. Yeah, he took us to the studio. And Miss Robinson and the band had already been rehearsing the song throughout the week, so they were all ready. And she gave each one of us $100 apiece and told him to take us to the hotel to drop off our luggage and stuff.
Right.
And then take us to get something to eat and bring us back. So we goes to McDonald's with $100 bill to get a Big Mac, some fries, some soda. And instead of saying, "Okay, I'll just pay for it all with mine," we all stepping up with our $100 bill. These people looking at us like they can't be from here, We got our food. We ate our food. He took us back to the studio. We went in the rehearsal part and we just rehearsed down with the band. And then they just started recording. We started singing. They recording as we singing along, so we can remember where we go back in, where we putting the vocals at, where we doing everything at. And so all that night we stayed there that whole night, doing the vocals, doing touch-ups with the music and stuff, and adding on other things. Right. When we came out, it was like 2:00 the next day. We didn't even realize that it was daylight, period. Wow. That's how much fun we was having. Nobody wanted to leave. So she told us to go get some rest, and they'll pick us up 8:00 that night to come back. So they picked us up. We got some rest. We came back, went back in, and she wanted to put hand claps on. So as y'all know, today they got the machines that can do the claps. Yeah. But back then, we had to stand around the microphone, and all the band and everybody that was in the studio, including Miss Robinson, the engineer would be at the board and he set it up. We all sit in there and we clap to that song. And I think that song is like 9 minutes and something.
Like 10 minutes.
you know, it's one of those long ones. Yeah. And then we had to do the hand claps twice. Oh. So we was like, whoa. At first I was like, why you putting hand claps on? It sound good just the way it is. And she said, wait till we put the claps on. You'll see what I'm talking about, Cheryl. So we did the hand claps, and when we came out, now it's just like the drummer is back there beating on something, go boom, 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 boom. And we're like, what is that? That need to go in. And so she let him put that in. And so after that, she said she was doing the mixing as we were going along. And she said, don't let anybody in here to touch this board.
Now let me ask you this real quick, because I'm sure somebody was off beat with them claps and y'all had to restart.
If they were, we didn't hear it. No. If they were, we didn't hear it. We were just clapping and clapping and clapping. And so we went home. I think Miss Robinson went back in there. We went back to the hotel. She I met her back down there Sunday, and she mixed it that Sunday and sent it to the mastering room. Then they sent the masters back, and she picked the one that she wanted and sent it, got some copies made from the masters and sent it to WBLS. And Frankie Crocker and Mr. Magic, they broke it.
They broke it, yeah.
They broke it in New York.
I heard it a lot. It was on the radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get up, get up, get up. I mean, that whole.
You know what I love? You know what I love about that? Like the purity of it. Like you think about today, all the red tape that goes along with making a record. It's just like, we went backstage. She heard the music. She liked the music. You know, a week later, flew us out. We were in the studio. We recorded. We mixed. We mastered. And it all this in my mind took place in a matter of probably less than a month. But now you see people, you know, they get signed to a record label or whatever it is, and you don't hear from them for 3 years.
Yeah. 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 They get shelved or they get pushed out the way because they have a artist that is hot and selling a lot of units at the time. So you're on like a waiting list. You know, but they were it's a new company. It's a black-owned company. You know, Mr. and Miss Robinson, they had this black-owned company that just was building and it was strong. So we did go back home on my birthday. We heard Funk You Up on the radio, WIC at that time here, but they didn't play our music a lot here because you're dealing with the churches. And the churches went up against it. Like now they can lick it like a lollipop and do all kind of stuff. You understand? But they weren't going for that back then. And you will hear in a couple of Sugar Hill records where she got beeps in it in certain places. It's not beeps all over this, just in certain places. She said because that'll stop them from playing it. So she'll put a little beep there in that part, but we knew what it was. It was for radio, so that they could get radio play.
Right, that's right.
You know.
So how was your relationship being on Sugar Hill Records? Because they had a roster. They had Grandmaster Flash, The Funky Floor, Crash Crew, The Treacherous Three. She had some acts on that label.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. That's getting ready to blow your mind. I became the A&R person at 19.
Oh wow! So you were finding those acts?
So no, what happened was, her niece took us on a limousine ride to New York. You know, just out and eating or whatever, and came back and this OJ, and that's what they called him at that time. OJ. They this like she put in a cassette that had all of them on it, and then someone brought that cassette to Miss Robinson. So when she called,
you had the old Cold Crush tapes.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
And so she called me to her house like 2:00 in the morning. She called me and said, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm sitting here writing, can't sleep." She said, "I'm sending somebody to get you. I want you to hear something." So she called me in and she started playing. I said, "Oh, I heard them the other night." I said, "They bad." And we dancing around and laughing and joking and everything. And then she looked at me and said, "Cheryl, what should I do with them? What should I do?" I said, "You should sign all of them because they are the only competition we'll have."
Okay, that was smart.
Yeah.
You understand? But their records, they were on Enjoy label, but Enjoy could not break them worldwide like Miss Robinson could.
Right, that's right.
And so she said, "You say sign them?" Sure, I say sign them all. You know, you corner the market if you sign them all.
Yeah.
You know, and then we become competitors against each other. We competing with each other for who gonna keep bringing them #1 records.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And so, and so I was a part of helping them all get signed because at first she just wanted to stick with the Sugar Hill Gang in the sequence.
Okay.
Wow,
But
so that's Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5, Funky Floor plus one more that got Shy Rock on there.
Spoonie G.
Spoonie G.
Spoonie, all of them. Busy
Brand
Bee.
Crew, Busy, yeah. Wow.
And Wayne and Charlie, the rapping dummy.
Yeah.
He was there too. I'm sorry. What you call it? He sat on his lap and he was and they were rapping too. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm also the first female to write for a male artist. I wrote on 8th Wonder, the rap for Master G on 8th Wonder.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
When y'all get through,
girl, you doing your thing out there.
You got a lot of questions.
yo, I was so open with the music because I listened to music, my mom's music, all kinds of music all my life. So when they asked me, "Do you have something for this part?" Because when they went in to do 8th Wonder, she was just not pleased with what she was hearing. And so she called me and she said, "Sure." She said, "Can you come up here, bring your book with you?" She said, "Because I know you got something that's going to make this thing do what I needed to do." And I said, "Okay." So I got there. I told Angie, "Come go with me because there might be some things that you could do also." So she came along with me. I had my book and my pad. And so as I'm listening to her, she said, "We need a rap for Master G." And I did a rap. I said, "Well, I did this rap, but it could be turned into a male rap."
Right.
Met this girl and said to him, "Honey, if you want to be my baby, you got to give me money." Turned around, didn't mean no harm. Knocked him out with my vicious charm. Said, "No, no, baby, it's not like that." Hear more about
You're blowing me right now, Miss Cheryl. That was your job?
Yeah.
So you must
That whole rap, everything he said on there was from me. Wonder might had his own little parts or whatever.
Right.
And I think Wonder Mike did part for Hank with "Woo-ha, got the ball and check." So we were piecing pieces together. And after she said, "Go in and put it down." So I put it down, and I put it down in the way, instead of me being it, because it was going to be a rap for one of my next things, I turned the male to the, from the female to the male. And I put the rap down. She said, "That's what I'm saying." So she gave it to Guy and told Guy to study it. And they're going to come back in and put it down a little later. So that's how that happened.
You find out, Cheryl, you're the first ghostwriter we don't even know yet.
Listen, I got Facebook on fire over there. They're talking about, we didn't know that. So now the guys are they taking pictures of the label where it says Cheryl Cook and L. The other guy was from the Commodores. Because 8th Wonder came from something that they did.
Right.
But they gave me writer's credit because I wrote the majority of it.
Nice.
So you and Sylvia Robinson must have had a great relationship. How'd y'all develop that relationship? Because it seemed like she confided in you a lot and wanted to do a lot with you.
Miss Robinson was always to me a sweetheart. Miss Robinson, she couldn't make you interested in music. She couldn't make you come to that studio. But I was there every day, all day, listening to everything that was going on around there. Now, Miss Robinson's son, Joey Robinson, God bless his soul, Joey, they were attracted to my voice and my sound.
Mm.
She said, Cheryl, you have a sound like Diana Ross that sells records.
Mm.
She said, Angie can sing like Flo could. But there's a certain sound that sells a lot of records, and you have that sound.
Right.
And so I would be around her all the time, or she would call for me to come, to do certain things with her or whatever. And we became very, very close. Joe said to me once, if I had a daughter, I wish my daughter would have been just like you.
Wow.
And Sylvia said the same thing. If I had a daughter, Cheryl, I wish my daughter would have been just like you. And so they fell in love with me, and I had a special love for her. She was my mother figure away from home. And I could go to her if I needed anything, wanted anything. She always made sure that I got what I needed, as well as Joey.
Yeah.
So they became like family away from home to me.
Yeah. There's a lot of pomp and circumstance going on with this being the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and I was at the big concert in Yankee Stadium a couple of weeks back. I'm just wondering, from your perspective, being like one of the first, do you feel like women are getting enough credit and acknowledgement with this being the 50th anniversary?
No.
And
no one. We did Atlantic City, which was a 2-minute with 50 acts on it. And that's all we've been invited to do.
Oh,
wow.
No one has reached out to us about any other shows or anything else. Now we're going to be doing September the 30th. Curtis Blow was here in South Carolina. Me and him, had some conversations and stuff, and he's inviting us to be on stage with him in Washington, D.C. That's the only other offer the Sequence has gotten.
Wow. That's amazing.
And because Angie is Angie Stone now, if they can't have Angie, they don't want to let me and Blondie work.
Oh.
So Angie's a must if it's gonna happen.
Because if Angie don't, how can we get Angie? Okay, now if you're gonna get Angie, it's gonna cost you. Because she's gonna tell you, I am Angie B, but I'm also Angie Stone, and you gonna pay the Sequence what they're worth.
That's right.
You're not gonna come out here talking about no $1,000, man. I could give them $1,000.
Yeah.
If you want the Sequence, you gotta pay.
Why do you think that with this being the 50th anniversary, that females have gotten less recognition than their male counterparts?
The males run it, I guess. In their eyes, there's more males dominating, and it's always been like that. They dominate, but we've had a lot of great women come out, after us that have done great work, have put it down, and they never invite us to any of those things. And I think too, by the culture being in New York, they're basically dealing with the rappers that came, the culture, as they would call it, the culture. And so they don't reach out to us. Yeah.
Those are all the guys you A&R'd. How about that?
Okay.
So, but here's the irony of it, though. Like, if Cindy wasn't having that back to school party, a female, then, because that's universally recognized as the start of hip hop, right? That back to school party that Cindy had with Kool Herc.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know about all of the parties that are going on there, but they're only reaching out to the artists that came out of their era, out of their, Bronx,
Very
Harlem,
New York centric.
Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? It's very much pushed on that. And like I tell people, being from South Carolina, and that's where I am right now, we don't get those type of invitations. Angie and Blondie is in Atlanta down there, and they they're saying nothing is coming through, and they don't understand either.
Wow.
So what's your honest feeling about the 50 years and how it's gotten to 50 years?
Well, first of all, they told us it wouldn't last no more than 5 years. So that's why everybody at Sugar Hill was trying to put in their good work, because they say after 5 years it'll be over with. Yeah. But here we go, 50 years, and then they're saying this is not the 50th year. Next year is the 50th year. So I mean, I used to go to the Zulu anniversaries when they would have the anniversaries up there in New York, and but they were the only thing that we had to reach out to, be invited to come. You could get on the mic, you could do whatever you wanted to do, but I wish I could tell you why, because you call us queens, you call us this, that, and if you go to my Facebook page, you can see what people are saying. These are facts. Yeah. What she's talking about, this is the truth. She's not lying about who she is and what she's done for hip hop. And I feel like if that company hadn't have been so hot at the time, it created. I remember Russell Simmons trying to get in one of our concerts at the Roxy's before a hip hop went downtown. Lil Rodney C and Angie and the money we all put together to go in the Roxy brought hip hop from uptown to downtown.
Right.
There's so many stories. There's so many things that people really don't know and understand. And so Russell was trying to get in that concert, and they wouldn't let him in. So when they was like, yo, they go to Sequence. Come on, y'all, sure, y'all got to get me in, this, that, and other. We didn't know him from the Man in the Moon, but I told him to grab my hand and you can walk in with me. And so he grabbed my hand and we were walking in, and the guy at the door, because he had tried to get in before, he hit his hand and hit my hand. And I was like, whoa, what are you doing there? What are you doing? He said, well, he just tried to get in and now he's latched on. I said, that's my brother. I said, don't you ever put your hands on me. It's a way to do things. Right. You don't treat people like that. I don't care. And so he was like, Miss Cheryl, I'm sorry. I said, no, you hit my hand and you could have hurt me. Yeah. And I'll sue this building and take everything y'all got down here. I said, that is my brother. I told him he could come. And so I grabbed his hand and said, come on. And we went on in.
That's a little
this is before
attitude right there.
Yeah, and this is before Russell got his break. But he was watching everything that everybody was doing. Right. So, like I tell people, it wasn't supposed to get worse. It was supposed to get better. Everybody that came after the front line of hip hop was supposed to make it better.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's a fact.
You know,
even LL was trying to get on Sugar Hill Records before he got on Def Jam.
Yeah. Yeah, but what happened with LL, and I took the cassette to Miss Robinson that I heard. She said, I'm not signing anymore. She wasn't taking on any more groups. And that's why he didn't make it there, because I was trying to get Lisa Lee. She was a female out the Bronx that was good. She was with Bam and all of them. Yeah, and I was like, yo, she's really good, Miss Robinson. And she said, no, I don't want no more females. She said, y'all are the luckiest females in the world, because I don't work with females like that. You know? So she didn't want females. And the only reason Sha-Rock got in is because she was with the Funky Four.
She with the Funky Four, yeah.
You know?
Have any of the female artists now, or older female artists ever reached out to you guys for guidance or anything?
Some on my page. some
Okay.
not the ones that are popular or out there and has been doing their thing. Sometimes the females on my page may ask me a question, Miss Cheryl, how you do this? Miss Cheryl, can you help me push this or whatever? And they send it to me and I share it out in the groups that I'm in or whatever. Or they ask, how do I do this, that, and the other? If I got the information, I send it to them. Or I tell them where to, to get it. I'm having trouble because they say I'm good, but I have to take off more clothes. I have to be, with what's going on. And so I don't want to do that, Miss Cheryl. I say, don't. Because we didn't have to do it. And we were still females and we were still ladylike on the stage. I say, so you don't have to do that. It's a lot of females that have contacted me that, is out of this world to me. But they're conscious rappers and they talking about things that are really real.
Okay.
And so they're not going to take their clothes off to do their music.
Good for them.
And in the industry, that's what they were telling me. And then I even talked to Cass and a couple of guys, and I was like, y'all right here in the city, why y'all didn't just go get another deal or whatever? And they was like, yo, you can't do that now. Sure. I said, what's wrong? He said, unless you want to get, booty bumped, you ain't getting in.
Yeah, different. It's not different. Yeah.
It's a lot different now, sure. It's not even about the music no more.
I wonder though, it's funny you said that, 'cause I was just thinking about like even the business element of it, like, being somebody who started in it in its infancy to seeing where it's at now. Like hip hop's $1 billion industry.
Business.
Yeah, and I look at it and I'm like, damn, like, like all the people who were instrumental in developing, starting it, didn't have an opportunity to reap the benefits of how monetized it is now. So I'm just wondering, like, what's your thought process on the business now versus the business when you were in it? Because I would imagine when you were in it, it wasn't a business where people were thinking like, this is a business that I'm gonna make millions of dollars from.
Right. Well, when we got into the game, of course, like I'm telling you, 17, 18, 19, 20, when just turned 20, we didn't have any business knowledge. We didn't know what we were getting into. And so everybody at Sugar Hill basically signed the same paperwork. And so we all got taken as far as the publishing part of the music. And we're just getting ours back.
Really?
As of December, everything turns back over to us. That's after 35 years of them taking our music and putting it in different countries all over the world. And these people that, that did this because they sold a catalog to different people.
Right.
We don't even know who is getting money that belongs to us. It really belongs to us. But when you got to fight the monster, because that is what it is, it's a monster. Yeah. Everybody know everybody. All the lawyers connect with each other. Exactly. You understand? And they all look out for the monster.
Yeah.
So sometimes you cannot win in a game like that. You can only be a puppet for a little while.
So to have a record of that magnitude, you mean to tell me like y'all have never collected any royalties of publishing off that record?
None.
Wow.
And
just writer's credit. Just the writer's credit from it.
It was crazy. They sold 500,000 copies in 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks.
And no pub, no video, no
nothing. That wasn't. Listen, TV, the TV part of it, all they had back then was MTV, and MTV was not playing rap music.
Yeah.
That's right.
Damn.
So you had what was that rap called? Yo MC Raps or something. And then BET came along and started the Rap City and the different things. That's when they had a bigger outlet than we had. Because we weren't even I think the Sugar Hill Gang might have done 2 videos and we did 1. There was no places to send videos for people
Yeah.
They
to
weren't
see.
making them. They weren't that readily visible to be made now, especially off of
And
genre.
they could,
No one think
yeah,
it's gonna last that long.
yeah, and they couldn't see that far down the line. You know, we were going from day to day making this thing happen. There was no blueprint there for us to follow. There was nobody for us to follow, but we left a blueprint for everybody to be able to follow. Do
That's
this,
right.
but don't do that.
You sure enough did, because everyone that used the derivatives off the movie, from Ice Cube to De La Soul, listen, the list goes on. Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
Did you have at least an opportunity to go on tour?
We did the Sugar Hill tour.
Okay, nice.
See, the Sugar Hill tour was the first hip hop tour out there. And I had a debate on Facebook with one of the guys, and they were saying, well, this so-and-so was the first tour. I said, no, it wasn't. Sugar Hill had a tour out there, and they took all of the acts out.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, we were all over the place. I said, and then we didn't do nightclubs. We did auditoriums, coliseums, amusement parks, and stadiums.
Nice. Wow.
In Ohio, I think it was 60,000 people in the stadium out there.
Man.
If we went to do Dolly Parton amusement park or the amusement park here in North Carolina, you got thousands of people.
Yeah.
So we never did nightclubs. We would go to a club if it was on the way to the next venue, and we had to stay there for about 30 minutes, an hour, then get back on the bus and keep going. They had like 3 or 4 buses out there.
Oh wow.
Custom-made buses where people can lay down and sleep, and it was really nice. And we would go from state to state.
This is gonna sound like an odd question, Miss Pearl, but I have to ask you this. Do you have children?
No, I don't.
Oh, because I was gonna say, I wonder if your children, like, they recognize the history, or like if you got nieces and nephews, they recognize the history.
I got nieces and nephews, but I don't think they quite get it who Auntie really is. Because I'm around the house with them all the time, even though they hear some of the stuff, and they still don't quite get it that Auntie is like the core of this thing.
Yeah,
called hip hop that y'all like.
And that's what I was getting at, because I'm like, if you had children, I would imagine they playing music or whatever, and they're like, oh, this is great, and in the back of your mind is like, yeah, this probably wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
I'm one of the first people to actually forge this thing and push it forward. Have you ever thought about writing a book?
Well, I'm working on something right now where a young lady named Hopi, I call her Hopi. Her mother was in the promotion department at Sugar Hill, and she grew up watching us. So now she wants to do a film. She wants to sit down and have her film crew come and just listen to me talk about the story, and see if they can get some type of Netflix or some of these people to
that'd be great.
Do that. Yeah. Watch me tell the story or create a movie around the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, the secret. People need to know who the sequence are, what their contributions were, especially your contribution.
Yeah.
Right.
That'd be great. You know what I learned too?
What?
I learned that Melba Moore didn't sing Love Changes. I said I learned that Melba Moore wasn't the original singer for Love Changes.
See
that? I learned that doing research. I'm like, hold on. This ain't Melba Moore song? I mean, Melissa Morgan, pardon me. Melissa Morgan.
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on. This is the sequence.
We did it also, I think it's Midnight Blue or Midnight Star. It was another group that, what was that group name?
I think it was it Kashif?
It was Midnight something.
Midnight Star, probably.
Midnight Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did it first.
They did it first, and then Melissa Morgan.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
Melissa Morgan's
We
version.
did it before Melissa.
Yes, ma'am.
We did it.
Me too.
We did it before her. We were the second group to touch that song because we used to do it on the road to kind of break up the monotony of it being just all rap,
Okay.
you know. So we would, that was one of the songs, that and Feel the Fire by Peabo Bryson
Oh wow.
were two songs that we used to do to break it up, and we were getting such great response from it that we went back and said, let's cut it over. Let's just cut it, and that's what we did. We just cut it over.
Nice.
Feel the fire. Damn.
You know, that Melissa Morgan joint. I used to sing that to sleep when I was like, listen, man.
And then
Melissa Morgan, doesn't she prefer to be called Melissa?
Melissa, yes.
Melissa Morgan.
People hyphenating their names nowadays, putting commas and stuff. Listen, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But
yeah, and then when we did Tear the Roof Off, that put us in another lane. First, we're the first females to team up, collab with the Sugar Hill Gang. We collab with Spoonie G on Monster Jam and Choreo on Funk You Up 85. Funk It Up 85. I think it was going to be where she was going to start to switch us off with each other and see what we would come out, because I did do something with Special K, but it was too late in the game. The company was folding at that time. But I think she was getting ready to start letting us all, you know, work and do different things with each other. I have a song right now on Me and Melly Mel that, you know, the top of the year, the beginning of 2024, I'll probably release it.
Wow.
Okay.
Under my label, because I got a company called Black Bottom Entertainment.
I was going to ask you about that. How's that coming along? How's that going?
Everything is moving fine. Every now and then I put something out there just to see, you know, if people are going to grab for it or, you know, how they feel about it or whatever. But I've been holding the one on Me and Mel. And that's going to probably come out next year.
I heard your single Got Love. I like that.
Yeah, that's
like
that's another test, but that's a tester. These are all testers to see if they like it. If they like it, then we good.
Yeah, you're right.
You know. And I did that one out there and one called Rhythm Change. I don't know if you heard that one yet.
How do you say so passionate about the music and your craft after having done it for this many years?
I just love music. I've loved music since I was a little girl. I'd be in the back seat of my mama's car singing every song that came on the radio. And she said, that girl just sit back there and all you do is hear back there singing. And so one day she asked us, me and my sisters, say, what you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? And both my sisters said they wanted to be teachers. And so she said, Cheryl, what you want to be? And I said, I'm going to be a star. And I said, I'm going to be a star. And I meant it. They were laughing at me. I said, that's not funny. That's not funny. I want to be a star like Diana Ross. That's what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
From watching the Supremes as a little girl on Ed Sullivan, I was just blown away with that. I was blown away with Aretha Franklin, from Betty Wright to Millie Jackson. I could go in all of them lanes of music of women, Candace Staten, Sylvia Robinson, Billie Holiday is my heart. Oh God, I can't. Oh, it's just so many of them out there. And then Chaka Khan and Natalie Cole. All of this stuff is in me. It's like in my soul. And when God put things in my mind to write down, I write them down. Now, my grandmother, she used to walk around the house singing all the time, singing gospel music. We had to go to all the things that Mama went to.
Yeah,
so you learn how to sing those. Yeah, you had to learn how to sing those church songs first.
Right. I learned Mahalia Jackson at a young age. I learned Mahalia Jackson.
Mahalia stayed in our house. Every Sunday you heard Mahalia Jackson.
James Cleveland.
Yes, all of that. I grew up all of it.
Yeah.
I grew up on it all, and I thank God for it all.
I
I
would
thank
imagine
God.
though that there has to be like a Sugar Hill documentary or something in the works. That there's just so much. It's too much history.
So much
For that,
history. Yeah.
for them to bypass that, and now they
I
missing out on
think,
an opportunity with the 50th anniversary.
yeah, I think because the contracts was bad and it left a bad spot on the game, on the company by the, she used to tell me, Cheryl, if I could change it, I would. But as we know in business, we have partners, and in that business, the partners could be dangerous or whatever.
Yeah.
They couldn't make a move because of other people that were connected to that company.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am. I did
I
some
tell,
research and I found
yeah,
out.
I like to tell the story of all of the good things that I saw, because I never felt bad about being down there. I thought it
I
was the
appreciate that.
greatest opportunity, huh?
No, I said I appreciate that because we have a lot of people that come on and they will talk about like the horrific contract situations that they've had and how record labels did them bad and everything. But listen to you tell your story, it just sounds like like you had a really good relationship with them.
Yeah.
We did. I did. I did. Everybody did. Everybody had their own. I had my own.
Mhm.
I stayed in my lane. My thing was music. I learned from the band members, from Doug and Skip and Craig Derry. We all the background vocals. The sequence was really like the Supremes at Motown. We did all the background work. We did all the party tracks. You will hear us on everything that basically came out of that record company.
Yeah. You know what I wonder also, because a lot of times when artists come on and tell us stories about like the contracts that they had and the contract situations, sometimes it's with like labels that are like startups and it's new people who just started labels. And we don't ever really offer grace for the learning period for the people with the labels. We just automatically go for they robbed and they cheated. Like there's grace associated with the artist where they be like, all right, you were naive, you didn't know the business, you just started, kind of thing. But we never offer grace for like a startup of a label. We like, you just took advantage of the artist. When the reality of it, I mean, and I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but the reality of it is that maybe the people that started the label are still learning the business also.
Yeah, well, Miss Robinson, they had other artists. They had the Moments. They had other artists, and another record label before us. But that record label folded also after it went under for whatever reason, tax reasons, as they would say, that they're not paying their taxes. But I think people, in my mind, wanted this company to go under so that these other companies can come up. Because they were black owned and they were powerful, and we got to stop this. This is something we got to stop. And so you'll hear in all of the Sugar Hill records, you'll never hear anybody talking about drugs. You'll never hear anybody talking about bitches and hoes.
Right.
It was a good time. And so now these Negroes is having all these good times and that company making all that money. We got to come in and we got to change the game. And we got to find people that's doing something to help us change the game. They don't realize that when you calling the women bitches and hoes, that's not good for our culture.
Yeah, definitely.
They coming in naive and in the blind.
Yeah.
So Sugar Hill, they had to get that company out of the way. And so I feel like someone,
we need to bring back A&Rs like you. We can whip these fools into shape a little bit.
Thank you. Because when they come up to me, even for my company, I say I only put out positive music. I'm going to only put out messages to help save our people. We're not putting out garbage.
You have
and not to call people music garbage, but it won't fit in what I'm coming with.
Yeah.
Do you have artists on Black Bottom now?
Yeah, well, you know what it is? I got them on standby. Put it like that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sign anybody because I'm gonna put my stuff out there first. I want to be the one. If they're gonna get anybody, you're gonna get Cheryl.
Right.
Because you're not gonna get any of my artists that you could go in and switch their mind around and make them think something different. I don't
Yeah.
want nobody publishing. I know what it feels like for your publishing to be taken. And then years later, when you think your music is dead, somebody like Dr. Dre steps up, or what's this last kid named it? Funk. Yeah. And, yeah, Bruno Mars, they could come in and take our music and we not get a coin.
Yeah, that's
I don't
crazy.
want to be that type of artist or record label that I need to take anything from anybody. If I can't help you rise, I'm definitely not going to be that one that you point the finger and say, you did this to me. No,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no.
You know, it's
know?
another thing that I admire too. Like, listen to you talk, it sounds like that you've been able to maintain throughout the years, still keep a relationship with Angie and Blondie. You know,
Yeah, they're
that's
my
that's,
sisters.
that's great too. Yeah, that's great too.
Yeah, they're my sisters. We push Angie. We help Angie to, over the years, because Angie got 2 kids. And so me and Blondie as aunties, we would step up, and Blondie be out there more so than me because I have my family that I have to take care. I take care of my mother, me and my family.
Right.
And so I couldn't roll out there with them. Every now and then I could say, I'll come, but I got to come right back because my mind is on my mother.
Right.
And making sure she got the things that she needs. So, when I need a break, I'll go to Atlanta, sit with them for a few days, and I come back home.
Nice.
If they get ready to do some road stuff, she'll ask, sure, you want to come? I need you to come do this one here with us, and I'll go and do it. But then my thing is, I gotta go home.
I gotta go.
My time will come for me to do music the way I want to do music. But right now, I got to go. My mom's is more important to me than anybody on this planet. So that's where my heart is. My nieces and nephews helped my sister raise their kids to make sure that they were all right. Took care of both of my grandparents and watched them take their last breath. But my grandfather said, make sure the rest of them are all right, sure. Because I'm the oldest. I'm the one they put everything in. And so I have to make sure that my family is straight first.
And make sure them nieces and nephews know who Auntie is.
Auntie
Yeah,
Pearl.
they just look at me. Every now and then they'll get mad and say, Auntie, I don't like it that they don't mention y'all name or y'all group or y'all this, that. I say it's all right.
But I want to thank you. I thank you for agreeing to come on and have this conversation with us. I thank you for your contribution. Also thank you for, like I said, listen to you talk about just Sugar Hill Records experience. It was refreshing because we have a lot of people come on that we interview, and they have a lot of things to say about the label, and usually it's not favorable. So to hear you talk about the label in a favorable light and your relationship with Miss Robinson, to me, I'm like, it means a lot to me, especially knowing that it's a Black-owned label.
Yeah, me and Leland talked to. Leland is the last son. Her son, her middle son, he's alive, and me and him talk from time to time. He'll call me because I'm like a big sister to him, and so I'll call him, see how him and the family doing on that end, and he'll reach back. Sure, you all right? You need anything or whatever? He said, anything you need, just let me know, and he'll cut a check and send it. FedEx it to me, and I'm like, whoa, he sent me something. I don't ask nobody for nothing because my help come from the good Lord. And so when other things come through, it's a blessing. I say, well, thank you. He said, anything for you, Cheryl. I watch how my moms were with you. And he was a little boy when we were up there, but he has the utmost respect for me, and I love him to death.
So we got on the screen your Instagram is Cheryl The Pearl _ What's your Facebook for people that want to catch up with you?
Cheryl Cook. It's under my name. Facebook wouldn't let me do a Cheryl The Pearl page, and I don't know why.
Oh wow!
I had 2 of them, and they locked me out of my pages and wouldn't let me get back in. So I had to use my name, Cheryl Cook.
Okay.
Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. I use my
So
name.
anybody want to come, they're welcome to come and ask me any questions they want to. I answer.